Well, whoever wins will replace President Johnson Sirleaf. She's stepping down after a 12-year rule. Vice President Joseph Boakai is banking on his experience in government. He's been Liberia's vice president for 12 years. The former soccer star George Weah, on the other hand, hopes his popularity will seal an easy victory.
I'm not associated with losing. So this victory is certain, and I'm going to win. Or Boakai cannot win, or George Weah. Ellen Johnson won because she's an exceptional case. And what happened cannot happen again.
It's a great day because it's a test of democracy. We went in one time, there were 20 of us. Now we reduced to 2. We have delayed, we've gone through the court process. This is what the process has produced, and we're willing to live with it.
Our reporter Robert Nagela has been following the developments and now joins us live from Liberia's capital, Monrovia. Robert, polls close in the next 1 hour or so. How has been the process so far?
A very good evening to you, Penina, from the Liberian capital of Monrovia. Thus far, no major incidents have been reported. The process appears to have been very, very smooth in quite a few counties that we're now beginning to receive reports from. And a lot of the polling stations that we visited here in Monrovia, what we found out was that the number of people who came out to vote were not as many as those that came out to vote in October during the first round of this vote. There is a chance that as we begin to get more figures coming from the outside counties, that we may begin to see that in the rural areas that people did actually turn out to vote in much larger numbers than we've seen here in the capital. We'll be able to confirm those numbers a bit later, but this is the situation at this particular moment. As you rightly said, the polls are due to close in about an hour. Immediately after that, the electoral officials will then organize themselves and the vote counting will then begin. Now that process will go in well into the night and into tomorrow. And as you heard from the Electoral Commission chairman there a short while ago, he says that they expect, barring any major challenges, to have the final results within 3 or 4 days. So Liberians may have a very good new year, depending, of course, which candidate you voted for. Penina?
And Robert, how do you compare this runoff to the first round voting? Is there a sense of enthusiasm among Liberians?
Oh, there's a big difference, Penina. I mean, last time around, you could actually see it on the faces. For people who camped outside the polling stations from as early as 3 a.m. in the morning, yet the polling stations were opening at 8 a.m. And despite the fact that in the first round there were quite a few challenges, the fact that quite a few voters were did not know what streams they were supposed to vote in, which led to people being frustrated, tempers rose as well, people staying at the polling stations for quite a long time, well into the afternoon without voting, but finally getting a chance. And but despite all those challenges, people were very enthusiastic about it. People wanted to exercise their democratic right. People wanted to elect a new leader, a leader they believed would look into a lot of the issues that have plagued this country for quite a long time. Unfortunately, as we now know, that did not happen. There was a challenge in court over fraud allegations, allegations of an incompetent electoral commission. The Supreme Court, however, threw it back to the Electoral Commission to investigate them. They found that a lot of those allegations had no ground. Where they found that there were some problems, they say that they have dealt with them, like, for example, people getting lost in the wrong streams. They've added extra stuff. And today, speaking to a lot of people out there, they said that, look, the process was smooth. They were able to get in and vote within 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, depending on the length of the line. But nobody we spoke to said that they'd been in the line for over half an hour, showing you the big difference between today and what happened about 3 months ago during the first round. And we believe that the reason it was so smooth today is because there were simply no large crowds waiting to vote. The crowds were much smaller this time, but it has to be said as well that the Electoral Commission was also quite efficient in running this process this time around. Penina?
All right, Robert Nagila live for us there in Monrovia. Thank you, Robert.